All right, friends, we're getting close to the end of the story. This is called Monkey Show Business, Chapter 14. Amelia Bedelia's father called the zoo immediately to let them know that their lost monkey had been found. Her mother and Mrs. Shaw kept the other kids back while Amelia Bedelia baby stepped towards it, banana in hand. "He's happy as long as he's eating bananas," said Amelia Bedelia. Oh, goodness. Her mother raced to the kitchen and brought back every banana they had. In minutes, a team from the zoo rushed into the driveway carrying nets and a travel crate. When they saw their monkey in a car seat happily munching on a banana, they relaxed a bit. The television news team arrived soon after that, and then the director of the city zoo. Amelia Bedelia posed with both monkeys, the real one and the one from her gift shop. She handed a banana to the real monkey, and everyone saw how he peeled it. The news team interviewed Amelia Bedelia and her friends, filmed their pets, and toured the exhibits. A reporter interviewed the zoo director about the backyard zoo and Mrs. Shock all about the great things her students had done. "I love these Be an Animal exhibits," said the director. "This is just what our zoo needs." He invited Mrs. Shock and her class back to the zoo to talk about their ideas. Mrs. Shock turned to Amelia Bedelia. "Here's the person with the big imagination," she said. "Congratulations, Amelia Bedelia. I will have to eat crow." "Oh, please don't," said Amelia Bedelia. "I'd rather have a crow in my zoo than in my stomach." It's another idiom. Finally, it was time to take the monkey back to the zoo. Amelia Bedelia sat down beside him and gave him one last banana. He peeled it in a flash, but instead of gobbling it down, he offered it to her. Aww. "Thanks," she said, "for everything." She patted him on top of his head. It felt warm, and his hair was wiry, not like her toy monkey at all. "Good night, little monkey," she said. "Beep, beep." And he went beep, beep back. And then our last chapter is chapter 15, Grin and Bear It. Amelia Bedelia couldn't believe it. She returned a missing monkey to the real zoo. She had created with all of her friends a great backyard zoo, and her teacher had actually liked it. But now it was all over. As people began leaving, Roger came up to her. "Georgie's almost defrosted," he said. "Can we have his funeral now?" "Sure," said Amelia Bedelia. "You can take him home." "Could we bury him in your backyard?" said Roger. "Georgie likes it here." Amelia Bedelia understood. She got a trowel, the little shovel, from the garage and dug a good-sized hole. So that's what was left of the block of ice would fit, next to an azalea bush. It's a flower. "We'll have a mound of dirt on top and plant some flowers," she said. Roger nodded. "Amelia Bedelia," he said, "would you please say a few words about Georgie?" Amelia Bedelia did not expect that. Georgie hadn't been her pet. But then she thought, why not? After learning about animals, thinking like a monkey and building a zoo, Amelia Bedelia was pretty qualified. The only thing that bothered her was that after all the fun they had now they were having a funeral. But Roger was her friend. She shrugged and said what her grandmother always said, "Ah, well, that's life." Everyone who was still in Amelia Bedelia's backyard, kids and parents and pets, gathered around. Amelia Bedelia cleared her throat and began. "Roger's pet gecko, Georgie, came from Madagascar. It's a big island next to Africa. So Georgie was far from home when he passed away. He was little, but he was an amazing, colorful, complicated animal. Roger really loved him, and when he died, Roger kept Georgie in a cold, dark place until he could give him a funeral like he deserved. But first, Georgie spent today teaching kids about animals. Now he's ready to rest. I'll plant forget-me-not flowers on top of you because none of us will ever forget you, Georgie." Amelia Bedelia turned to Roger, who was holding the block of ice. Then Roger did another thing that Amelia Bedelia had not expected. He gave Georgie a kiss. No one looked away or squirmed or thought, ew. Roger just kissed a dead lizard. That's his pet, though. No, this was a last kiss goodbye. Goodbye and thank you. Goodbye forever, my friend. Some kids began to sniffle. Some grown-ups' eyes glistened. Even people who had never had a pet were moved by what Amelia Bedelia had said. What was true for Georgie was true for all animals. They all are amazing miracles, just like Georgie had been. There was nothing left to say, but no one felt like leaving either. Everybody just wanted to stay right there next to one another. Amelia Bedelia's mom gave her a hug. "Nice job, sweetie. I'll go get some snacks. Your friends can hang out here until the cows come home." That's another idiom. "Till the cows come home." It doesn't really mean the cows come home. till the cows come home is a saying about a time frame of when something can happen. When the cows come home, moo! A truck was backing into the driveway. The sides were painted with fruits and vegetables and a sign that read, Uncle Fred's Farm. Moo! A cow gazed down at them. Moo! Amelia Bedelia's father ran up to her and loudly whispered, I thought you were kidding about canceling the cow. I was, said Amelia Bedelia. I didn't order a cow. Wade's Uncle Fred got out of the truck and introduced himself. Just stopped by to pick up my nephew and my sheep, he said. I can loan you Gertrude here if you'd like to have a cow. That won't be necessary, said Amelia Bedelia's mother. My husband has had a cow every day this week. Like if you have a cow, you're having like a fit. Uncle Fred chuckled. Amelia Bedelia had no idea what her mother meant. She figured that her father's cow must have been with his goat. As Uncle Fred loaded the sheep into his truck, Amelia Bedelia said, I'll miss that fuzzy lawnmower. Now I have to mow the grass again. That night, after supper, Amelia Bedelia and her parents sat outside on the patio with Finally, who still smelled a bit like a skunk. Looking out over their backyard, they recalled all the fun and excitement of the zoo and the days leading up to it. Amelia Bedelia asked her mother, I just have one question. Why is there a banana on your windowsill? Amelia Bedelia laughed. She laughed so hard that she could not stop. Soon her parents were laughing too. That was a wild time, said Amelia Bedelia's father. I already miss it, said her mother. You do, said Amelia Bedelia. Me too, said her dad. I told the director how you didn't get to go on the field trip to the zoo. We're meeting him tomorrow morning. He's taking the three of us on a VIP tour. Amelia Bedelia jumped up and yelled, Thank you, Daddy. Family hug. It was their wildest family hug ever. And then here are some of the things that they wrote, like squirrel monkeys live in the rainforest of Central America and South America. They live in the canopy of the forest. That means the top of the trees. They eat mostly insects and fruits like bananas. The ball python are also from Africa, and they don't have any venom. These snakes fold into a ball shaped when they think something is going to attack them. They can roll. You can actually roll a ball python, and they eat mice. Hawks are birds of prey. That means they eat other animals and birds. There are all kinds of hawks, like the red-tailed hawk. That's what we have the most near us. Sharp-shined hawks, sparrow hawks, and more. They have really good eyesight. Mice, there are field mice and house mice, and they are all so cute. Mice are rodents, and they can be really great pets. A boy sheep is a ram. A girl sheep is an ewe. And a baby sheep is called a lamb. A sheep's hair is called wool, and people use it to make clothes. Sheep live almost all over the world and appeared in stories and tales and rhymes such as Ba Ba Black Sheep. Did you know that skunks are also called polecats? Their spray is super stinky, and they spray when they sense danger nearby, like a dog or a bear. Baby skunks are called kits. The gold dust day gecko. These lizards are from the island of Madagascar. They eat insects and also drink nectar from plants and flowers. If their tail falls off, they can grow new ones. It's awesome. And then there's two ways to say it, like I'm sick as a dog means I'm really, really sick. That's a pie in the sky means that's a great idea, but it'll never happen. Your head's in the clouds. You're busy daydreaming. You don't know what's going on. His sweater is covered with dust bunnies means his sweater is covered with fluffy bits of dust. You look sheepish means you look embarrassed. Are you trying to get my goat means are you trying to make me mad, get me upset? And then it's just 10 things to love about Amelia Bedelia. We know we love her. She's so fun. So this is one of the chapter books from Amelia Bedelia of when she's a kid. This is actually, if you look up in the corner, number 4. So if you like them, you can always go find 1, 2, and 3. Whoop, sorry about that. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye.